Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan's story is continuing in a big way, so we'll see what the latest is there. We'll also see how this affects everything with the Judgment Day, starting things off with what's being hinted at here between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. This is a storyline that was actually first teased on the road to WrestleMania. While Roxanne was out of action recovering from a procedure, the Judgment Day made the call amongst themselves to kick Finn Balor out of the group. And the part that everyone thought was a little messed up was that Liv Morgan and the rest of the Judgment Day did not ask Roxanne for her thoughts on kicking out Finn. They didn't ask for Roxanne's input at all and just made such a big game-changing decision without her, as if her membership meant nothing to the Judgment Day. So that was definitely a huge red flag there, that Roxanne was not asked in any way about that move. Sure, Roxanne wasn't there in person at the time of Finn's removal, but someone from the group definitely could have picked up a phone and see how Roxanne felt about kicking out Finn. But they left Roxanne fully out of that decision, and they're making it seem like more conflict could grow within the Judgment Day because of how they left her out of that big call. Liv and Roxanne were going to have a conversation about this matter a few weeks ago, but right as that conversation started, that's when the big moment happened of Stephanie shoving Liv and Roxanne into each other, and all the talking there was cut off. But now, several weeks later, Liv and Roxanne have finally got back to that conversation and spoke about the matter on the April 27th edition of Raw. Liv spoke to Roxanne in private to personally apologize to her for having to witness everything that happened with Finn Balor getting removed from the group. Liv acknowledged how close Finn and Roxanne were with each other and how it probably wasn't easy to see that go down from home. But then the conversation took a little turn when Liv said that she knew herself what it was like to watch from home because she had to sit at home and watch Finn bring Roxanne into the group without getting Liv's input on that decision. So definitely a real tongue-in-cheek type of apology from Liv Morgan. It's not really an apology, it's more like Liv saying that she had to go through it, with Roxanne being added to the group, so now Roxanne basically, she has to suck it up and can't complain about being left out of the decision. It's Liv pretty much telling Roxanne that this is the karma Roxanne deserves for joining the group without her permission. So just a very sarcastic, half-hearted apology there by Liv to Roxanne. Basically just telling Roxanne that she's in no position to even dare complain about Finn being kicked out. Liv closes out by telling Roxanne that they're family, and how Finn put himself before the family, and how that's something Liv would never do to Roxanne. Liv stated that she'll always be there to support Roxanne, and how she would be there in her corner as Raquel and Roxanne get closer to winning the women's tag team titles again. Liv asks if Roxanne trusts her, and Roxanne nods her head yes. And as Liv leaves the room, Finn Balor actually sneaks his way into the room to speak with Roxanne, telling that she can't trust Liv or anyone in the Judgment Day. Roxanne told Finn Balor to leave the room before he gets hurt, but she didn't say it in a threatening way. Roxanne said that line in a very considerate way, as if she genuinely cared about his well-being. So although Roxanne literally didn't say a word to Liv Morgan and didn't reveal anything about how she felt about the entire Finn situation, we got a lot of context clues here that tells us what side Roxanne is really on. Judging by Roxanne's brief conversation with Finn, and legitimately seeming concerned for him getting out of harm's way from the Judgment Day, it appears safe to say that Roxanne still has some type of feelings for Finn Balor. And not in a romantic sense, but in a sense of him being a mentor, him being the one that really brought her into the group and took a chance on her. So that loyalty and devotion to Finn is very much still intact there for Roxanne. And that's why Roxanne is so conflicted and split at the moment. She has unlimited amounts of loyalty to the Judgment Day, but also to Finn as well. So that's why Roxanne is just in an impossible situation right now. She doesn't know who to really trust between Finn and the Judgment Day. She has love for both sides, and she's trying to be protective of both sides right now. During the match on April 27th, Liv Morgan did what she said she was going to do. Liv was out there and did cause a distraction on Bayley that led to Roxanne taking advantage and picking up the win. So yes, Liv did stay true to her word and did help out Roxanne on that night. And maybe that does get Roxanne to trust Liv a bit more. But as far as trusting Liv Morgan in the long haul, that seems like the scary and unsure part. Like Liv pretty much said directly to Roxanne's face, Liv has no real loyalty to Roxanne. Roxanne was brought into the group without Liv's approval or input. Also can't forget how Roxanne first came into the Judgment Day. Roxanne came into the group making a lot of advancements towards Dominic Mysterio and showering him with gifts and attention, which obviously Liv Morgan absolutely had to be against. So maybe it's one of those things where Liv never really forgot what Roxanne was up to during her early days in the group. Maybe Liv is still holding on to that grudge, and maybe she's waiting for the perfect time to strike on Roxanne. Remember that when Finn was kicked out, Liv gave a whole promo on how this was always her plan for the longest time, and she was quietly working on moving Finn out of the group the whole entire time, while smiling in his face and pretending to be on his side. So if Liv literally did that once before, who's to say she can't do it again this time to Roxanne Perez? Maybe behind all these smiles and pretending to help Roxanne, maybe Liv is cooking up a real sinister plan for how she plans on kicking Roxanne out of the group. So when Finn tells Roxanne that she can't trust Liv Morgan, that's exactly what he means. It may look like Liv is genuinely helping you, but there could be an evil agenda that she has in place there, and that's what Finn is trying to get Roxanne to take notice of. Roxanne is really dismissing Finn's warning at the moment, and she's really going to ignore him after seeing Liv help her in that recent match. But eventually the cracks will grow. Although this storyline was put on display here and introduced on April 27th, chances are that the payoff to Roxanne breaking free and turning babyface could still be a lifetime away. When it comes to these types of storylines, the payoff is never anywhere even close to happening, at least for a mighty long time. Just look at the situation with Finn and Dominic. They first started teasing conflict between Dominic and Finn in mid-2025, and we didn't see that full payoff of the Dominic and Finn fallout until mid-2026. A whole year to get to the payoff for those breakup teasers. So although they're in the full swing of teasing this conflict between Roxanne and Liv Morgan, don't expect to see Roxanne fully break free anytime soon. It's probably going to be one of those storylines that go for 8 months to a year before it finally gets paid off with a big moment. So that payoff may be a long time away. But what we definitely could expect to see over the next few months is Liv attempting to manipulate Roxanne. Maybe there will be instances over the next few months where it seems like Liv is helping Roxanne, but also instances where she's clearly mistreating Roxanne, and that will naturally grow that face turn hype for Roxanne Perez. Roxanne will continue to stand by Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day, but as time goes on, maybe we see those gears start to shift, and Roxanne becomes more aware of what Liv is actually doing to her. It's going to be hard to recapture that magic of Sammy's situation with the bloodline, but maybe it could be a version of that type of scenario where the crowd starts to get strongly behind Roxanne until she does finally break free, and that will be the start of her huge face run on the main roster. Maybe even by her coming after Liv Morgan and that women's world title, that's a possibility as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.